Yeah, or what you may have to are you on your phone?
Yeah, but I have my computer right here.
Alright, yeah, you may have to, do that, but here, let me see if I can but yeah, I can do it on my phone as well, and I can, tag you real quick because we are officially live. We up and moving.
Okay, then. Let's do it.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do is, just to get everything set up, let me see if I can tag you tag you real quick, and then we'll jump right
Okay.
into this.
All right. Let
So other
me
than that, how
get.
you been today?
I've been pretty good today. No complaints. What about you?
Same old. Can't complain at all.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
All right, so look, so I just shared it. Well, I just tagged you in it, and just to
Okay.
be respectful of your time, I first want to say thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you for being the first, guest on the show. I wanted to do something special because I believe you have a story that's incredible, but most importantly, anytime you say you're gonna do something, you do it. There's no ifs, there's no buts. It's almost like I had to ask myself, I'm like, all right, I thought she was doing this. Now she doing this. I'm like, all right, now she in Jamaica. Now she doing this. And so the reason why I wanted to bring you in today is because I think a lot of people have dreams and goals, but they don't have that ambition like you do. And
Okay.
so before we get started, I just want to just give you the floor just to kind of let people know who you are and
Ooh.
what you do and kind of go from there.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I'm very, very happy. I'm excited. I've been counting down to be the first person that you had on your show. Um, so I'm that. I'm all of that. I'm a traveler, like you say. I am a person who grab life by the horns and just kind of go with what feels right for the time. I'm a seasonal person. If I feel good about doing this, then I do it. If I want to make a change, I make a change. So me in a nutshell, my background is healthcare. Been doing that since I was an adult. Some would say when I was a teenager, I was like the medicine woman in high school. Everyone came to me for advice. Um, and then during the pandemic, I became an author. I used to write all the time, but I actually published a book, three. And so I have that under my belt. I am now a licensed mortgage loan officer. That's kind of where I am right now. That's kind of where I want to stay. So far, so good with that. And in a lot of ways, I am a speaker. I am, open to doing speaking events in all on all different type of platforms, whether it's in the health realm, whether it's in the real estate mortgage realm, or in a just do something with your life realm. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
See, I think the cool part about it is how you started off and said, I was in healthcare, and
Mhm.
now you just kind of showed the diversity. And I think the one thing I want people to hear is that you don't have to limit yourself. Like you are literally the epitome of whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it.
Right.
And so, I commend you on that. And so I really that's really why I wanted you on this show right now. Like, I'm like, yo, again, I don't know nobody else to have so many other talents and that you're not afraid to fail. And I think that's the key thing is that you're not afraid to fail. And I think and I want you to elaborate on this when it comes to entrepreneurship, what would you say? Like what is your experience? Like talk a little bit about that experience.
Um, I I don't want to limit people, but it's not for the weak. But in saying that, it can also make you strong. So if you are weak, but you're determined or you want to do something different, it is definitely a way to toughen you up. So, and then you spoke to failures. I think you have more failures than successes in business in the first few years. Most people don't make it past the first year or two. So to them, it was all a fail, right? Um, so speaking of that for me, I don't know when you're thinking about courses that it takes sometimes to become something like let's just say a nurse or so that you can be an entrepreneur in the field of healthcare. You still have to go through those tests and you fail sometimes. Those classes you fail sometimes. financing and trying to get capital. Your credit sometimes is not good enough. So you're working and utilizing money from, your job if you still have one, or savings if you have one, to build up your business. So um you kind of suck as a friend, sometimes a partner, a parent if you have children. So um, and sometimes you just suck at being a business owner because you just think it's easy to get out there and open a business and say, I'm open, these are my hours, come on, get what whatever I'm offering. And then you're hit with all sorts of bottlenecks and you're handling them all wrong. So you have to, I hate the phrase that people say that most millionaires aren't college graduates and things like that, because it I guess it can be misconstrued by the average listener into thinking that college isn't necessary, or knowing what it is that you're trying to do or learning it isn't necessary to be successful, and that's completely 100% wrong. Whether you go to college or not, you need to study to show thyself approved, right? That's one of my favorite Bible verses. And I don't care if it's in the format of or forum of a college, of a mentor who is educated themselves or considered an expert in what they do. You have to read, you have to study, you have to learn finance, you have to learn operational skills. You have to learn how to talk to people. You have to know computers. Almost everything is electronic now. You have to know how to be personable. It's not enough to say, I'm just not that type of person, or I'm quiet, or that's just how my face looks. It's not enough to say that. And if you are that person out there listening, then being an entrepreneur may not be for you. You have to sometimes fake it. You got to sit down and have these conversations with people with a smile on your face. You have to have one of those awkward moment conversations where you're not halfway following what that person is saying, but you're faking it like you are. I mean, I mean, it is what it is. If that is not who you are, or you feel like that is too much for you, or that's not being your authentic self, then being an entrepreneur is not for you. But if you are a person who understand what it takes and your goal is to make a difference and to make some money, if you are okay with rubbing elbows with people, if you're okay with always learning and trying to get better, not being afraid of change, not being afraid of long hours, not being afraid of sometimes not having money, and understanding that there's a good pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for you if you stick to it, then it is for you. Because those are the cons that I'm speaking about. But the pros, oh my God. And I don't want to hog your session, but I can tell you the pros all day.
See, I think one thing that I want to, like you said something that kind of clicked for me, you know, it's the failures that make us.
Yep.
Like so many people they fail and they're like, oh, I quit, I'm done, I don't have nothing else to do. But in actuality, I failed, so that means I got more to do. That means I need to learn something, and I never forget this. I heard this quote. I don't know where I was, but I heard this quote and it stuck with me. It says, "Fail first, attempt, and learning." And
Mm,
so now I look at Phil, I feel on purpose now. Like
mm,
even doing this show, I'm like, we might get one or two people on here, that's fine. But I'm gaining something that I didn't have before, right? And so I think that's why I love the idea of bringing you on and we talk about entrepreneurship, because I know failure is not easy. It's not easy. It's it's,
it sucked.
it's one of those things where, like, man, like I'll be transparent with you. I opened up my business in 2021 because of everything. I'm thinking, yeah, everybody gonna be buying my stuff. Man, January I made $0. Man, I didn't make nothing. And I remember talking to Key, I remember talking to my wife. I'm like, man, what's going on? I'm like, am I in the wrong thing? But then I realized, man, that just made me realize, do I want it as bad as I say I do? you
Mm,
know. And I think that's, as you're saying with entrepreneurship, it's like it's a self check. Do I want this as bad as I say I do, or do I just like it because it sounds cool? It's the cool thing to do. Oh, I'm an entrepreneur, but are you really an entrepreneur if you're not really running things, you know. You brought up something. Oh, excuse me. You brought up something that I wanted to kind of touch on too when you said we're talking about friendships, relationships. So, how do you balance entrepreneurship and friendships?
Um, so friendships, so like my girlfriends, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Let's
with
get
them, I
started there.
think, yeah, we're gonna start there. I think with them, it depends on where you are in your level of maturity, like the ages and stages of life. So maybe my younger years, I lost friends. I did. It could have been for reasons of jealousy, envy, misunderstandings, and oh, she don't want to hang out. She never has time for this. All she want to do is read. I remember I was in college. I think I was 19, and we used to have sessions after school. They would have sessions after school at someone's house, and just do recreational things. And they made a list of what they were going to do for spring break. It's all coming to me now. It's so funny. They made a list, and the people who were my friends, they well for their list, number one, because we're still young minded doing silly doodle type things. They wrote number one, go to the beach, number two, go get my nails, then number three, hang out with my boyfriend, whatever. So for me, they're gonna make a list as though I wrote it, and all mine said was study, 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 right? And they thought it was like a funny joke. Aha, I laugh at Sharetta. All she does is study, 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 right? I was like the nerd, and it was frowned upon, which is weird though, right? And flash forward, we ain't even gonna talk about that, but flash forward, you know what I'm saying? So with them in that age group, there were fallouts. They couldn't accept that I didn't have time for them, that I was focusing on my business once I started growing my first business, when I moved to Birmingham. But now we're older. My friends now, they're just as busy as I am, whether they're working 9 to 5 or not. But what I do make sure I always remember is that time is fleeting, you know? And so if I ever have a moment that I can take a second to celebrate a birthday or just a job promotion one may have, or a wedding, marriage, or whatever, I'm that one to say, hey, when we gonna get together? And that creates a balance because everyone isn't good at planning stuff. And I realize sometimes if I sit here and don't say anything, nothing happens. But a lot of people will take that as the phone work both ways. Or how many people are trying to schedule a birthday party for you? When the last time your friends just dropped in and said how you doing? That's probably not their ministry, right? And if I'm a friend and it's mine, then I'll be that person, right? So that's where my balance come in. I'm the person who get everything together, get stuff popping. Hey, bring it up a month ahead. Hey, what we doing for your birthday? Send a bottle of wine for your birthday or cash up so you can buy something. That's what I do. So that helps my friendship. So they can never say that I didn't stop and take a moment to just have some girl time.
Man, you said a mouthful. And I think the thing that stuck out to me is that you take responsibility for your role in the friendship. And I think sometimes we don't actually define our roles as we are friends, right? Like we're still basing our friendships off of high school stuff or
Mhm.
off of elementary stuff. And I wish we would do better jobs of saying, hey, I know we're getting older, we need to reevaluate this friendship. Are you going to be that friend I can always count on, or is life in, and now I need to find another friend, which is okay. I think so many times I think it becomes a problem when there's no communication, and it sounds like to me, in which I know personally, like you're going to communicate and you're going to put it out there, like, hey, this is what I got going on, or hey, this is what I want to do. So I commend you for that. And so I want to pose a question for you.
Mhm.
What would you tell an individual that doesn't know how to balance that friendship, like doesn't know how to balance, oh, I need this successful business, but I also like this friendship. Like what would you tell that individual?
I would pose a question to them, and their answer may be one that supports that right there. But I would ask them at the end of the day, when you reached your goal, your main goal, you got in that house, gotten whatever it is you're trying to, you're aspiring for, are you going to be okay being alone?
Mm.
Like, think about it. Are you going to be okay, like, not having real friends, real loyal friends, people who support you, people who genuinely love you? Because that's a gradual process that happened over years. You can't just meet someone in 2018 and by 2019 they're the most loyal person in your life. They genuinely care about you. They want to see you do good. You can't expect that from anyone. So I would ask them if after everything is said and done, you've gotten to a point where you're most successful. Are you okay with being alone? And if your answer is yes, then kudos. Go right ahead, do what you do. But if it's no, then I tell everybody that people make time for what they truly feel is important. Make
Yeah.
it important to you. Make
Yeah.
it important.
And I think again, it really goes down to communication and
Mhm.
being able to share with someone or be able to tell that person, hey, this is where I am. And I'm guilty. I am 100% guilty. I will say I lost a lot of friends based off that fact that I would say, hey, this is my priority. Hey, I still got love for you, but I got to handle this. And most people, oh, you really can't do that. You really can't do this, or you can't do that. And then I realized too, for me, my gift or my goal is more important than trying to restore a relationship where you can't see the value in what I see, you know?
Mm.
And I think that's one of the tough things that we have to do as people is knowing who to let go and who to really hold on to and elevate, right? And so we talked about friendships, but I can't go without talking about relationships as far as partners, booze, whatever you want to call your significant other. Like, how do you balance that? I'm gonna let you go first, because
I want to know your answer because remember I told you when I saw the topic, I let me go first because I want you to have the floor on that one, okay? So I think again, is what's important to you, you will make time for, period, point blank. So with that being said, it starts with choosing the right person to be in your life for whatever direction you feel your life is headed, not just for today. See, and that's what a lot of people mistake. They pick that right now person, that person that fits right now, but you have to see yourself ahead and know what it is you want to be, want to aspire to be, and all of that. And will they fit there? And that is how you start, right? And then, of course, everyone always say date nights, stuff like that. It really is important, but you still gotta like that person. So it goes back to choosing the right person. Otherwise, date nights just become like uh just a customary thing we do every Thursday. And oh, I got to do this. No, I want it to be exciting. So, and then another thing that I've learned as an entrepreneur is kind of a flex. You get to incorporate your partner into your doings and your going on. So they can go places with you. They learn the business with you. And sometimes, they figure out a way to work in that role with you, right? So I think that's a good way to balance, but it's not always cohesive. It doesn't always like end well. There's issues, and I'll be candid. My now fiance, right? So he has joined me on a couple of events and outings and things like that, networking. And at the end of it, there was a conversation in the car, like, you too friendly. Like, and I'm like, too friendly, and I'm like, that's just me being me. Well, I don't like that, you know what I'm saying? So immediately my first thought was, you're not going anywhere with me anymore, you know what I'm saying? But that's not the answer, right? Or is it, right? Some people will say that's the answer, but no, it's not, because when you're in a relationship, you do have to consider the other person. Now, if they're being all the way unreasonable, then it's like we got to have a conversation. But you have to put yourself in their shoes. So it's not always pretty. But there's gonna be, some misunderstandings, and you just gotta kind of gotta accept that. It's just what it is. Like, you're not gonna just be that 9 to 5 girl clocking in, clocking out. I know at 5:30 you're ready to roll. You're ready for dinner. You're ready to hang out. You're not always gonna be that. So But to me, having done both, I've worked 9 to 5 in relationships, and I've been strictly in a contract entrepreneur type role. I side with the contract entrepreneur role. I think you have more time. Like once you make that time, once you get that goal, that you want to do, that target, you've hit that deadline, you can just say, I'm not working for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? You're just doing little things here and there. So I don't know how deep you want to go with it, but I want to hear your side.
So I will say for me, it was a challenge only because it's so much that I do. Outside of my 9 to 5 job, I teach. Outside of teaching, then I come home and I'm working, in the business, on social media, going crazy, right? And so one thing I had to do was I really had to sit down and make sure that, my wife knew what our mission was, So I may say something like, hey, I'm gonna retire you, you know. We don't know when, we don't put a date on it, but she knows, hey, if I'm in this office working, it's working toward retirement, right? And so I may say things like, hey, what do you like to do? And she made it clear. I don't put me on no stage, don't put me in the front. I'm more behind the scenes. So for me, it was about knowing how to work together, like your strong suit and mine. Let's put it together and let's do what we do. And like you said earlier, like being able to travel, so being able to go places, and I'm not gonna lie, being on the stage, a lot of eyes are always on me, right? And so what I do out of respect, the first thing I may say is I include her in my speech, and so
Mhm.
that way, so people, one, they know like, all right, we came together, and two, they also understand like, all right, he knows that that's his helpmate. Like he knows that without her, he wouldn't be where he is. And so that's one thing I always try to do. Do I always get it right? No, but I also tell her, I'm like, hey, babe, look, if you see me and I'm making videos and I'm doing too much, tell me to put it up, because sometimes I overthink and I get so caught up in trying to create a better life that I begin to neglect the life that I'm living right now.
That's a
And
word.
I'm so focused on trying to, oh, I got to do this. I got to pay these bills. I got to get us right. I got to do this right. But then when is the last time I just took my shoes off and just kicked my feet in the sand? And so I think she helps me balance that. And so I will say, as you said, finding the right partner. I can say in past situations, it wasn't that easy. But now when I found the right person, it was almost like, hey, listen, at 7 o'clock, I'll be done. Bam, I'm shutting off the phone. Nobody else can talk to me. And so then I learned how to get smart with technology. Like a lot of my posts on Facebook that people see, those are scheduled posts now. Now
Mhm.
I'm able to post ahead of time, schedule it, and have it promote. Bam, go on by my day. I even learned with this, if it's for some reason we can't go live, we can record a show, bam, set it up, it'll post regardless. So I think it's just one of those things, it's just communication and making sure that we all on the same page. Because you need that balance. You need that person to tell you, hey man, you're doing too much. You need to come sit down and relax.
Or you
You
being too friendly.
but it's just like you need that check and balance system because sometimes they see stuff that we don't necessarily see. And so we may be thinking, oh, we just networking, but they may be looking from the outside in, like, hold on, I see how she or he looking at you. So although
Good,
you
that part.
networking, they don't see it that way. And I think that's just the reality of it. And it's not about controlling, it's not about, it's literally that can make or break a business.
Mhm.
Like I've seen so many people that have been blind to certain situations and now they done, now they bankrupt, now they don't know what to do. And I think that's why conversations like this are needed, man. Like, I don't think people understand how it's easy to start a business, but most business fold after a year.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm gonna just go back to that 9 to 5. Oh, it's easy. I know I got a guaranteed paycheck now. Like, we literally got to go hunt for what we want. Like if we ain't out there working, we're not gonna eat.
That's
And
facts.
I think that's what I want to kind of segue to another thing. Because me, I'm gonna be completely honest. Do you expect your friends to support everything you do when it comes to business? What's your thoughts on that?
Look, I'm gonna say for me, absolutely not. For other reasons, but the number one reason is if you expect that, you're gonna be disappointed. And I don't want to be mad with my so I'm gonna say no to that. But I don't expect them to. But it depends on what product I'm pushing though. Like if I'm pushing like skincare and they don't need skincare, I can't be mad at them for not supporting. But if I'm doing something that's almost, if not identical to what the next person is doing, and you choose them over me, then yeah, I'll be a little upset because am I really your friend?
Right.
I don't expect it, but I am appreciative when they do. And it's kind of one of those, it's almost becoming taboo to speak on it because when you're on Facebook and you see those posts about your friends not supporting you and stuff like that, and you want to share it, but your friends are on your social media and they see it. So it's like it's kind of hard to speak on it, but I think I have a good group of friends who are supportive where they need to be, so but I don't expect them to support everything that I do.
Man, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you again. It's me. But on a serious note, I used to have that mentality, right? I used to think, oh man, my friends gonna support me. All right, if I got 2,000 friends, 2,000 people gonna buy this t-shirt, I'm gonna be good. But then I had to change my mindset, right? So even if 2,000 people buy this t-shirt or this book, $2,000 ain't no money. You know,
Mhm.
it's the strangers, it's finding the right clientele that's going to make you rich, right? And so I start worrying about, oh, so and so ain't supporting me. I ain't gonna lie, I might look at you sideways, but
Right?
I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna say, oh, it is what it is. At this point, I think I got to the point where I'm starting to understand I don't need to limit myself. And if I
Mhm.
think my products are only good enough for my friends to buy, then I got a bad product because I don't want you to have to like me in order to buy something from me. I want you to not even know who I am and be like, man, it's something about don't burn your cake. Yeah, man, I gotta get that. Because that's when we have a successful business. I don't know the person from McDonald's, but I know when I want a excuse me, a Big Mac, I know to go to McDonald's. I'm vegan now. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go in and put it out there. So
I was gonna ask you about that. I
yeah,
saw your
it's
story.
going well. So,
Yeah.
when I started this process, I was sitting in Walmart and here I am reading the ingredients on the back of everything, making sure it ain't got no dairy or no animals or whatever. And I thought to myself, I would have never guessed that I would have been the type of person to do this. But then I saw a blessing and I saw a lesson in it. I saw so many people walk by me judging, like, oh, he think he better than us. He
Mm.
up here reading the ingredients. I wasn't focused on them because I knew what I wanted. And just like in business, once we know what we want, once we know what we got to do to get it, we shouldn't focus on the things we can't control. Because half of the time, you're going to find out the truth at the end of the day. And I say this, because if you ain't support me all this time, then let's say I just so happen to be on Forbes top 100 and you like, oh, that's my best friend.
I know him. We
Now
went
I'm
to
looking like,
school together. Yeah.
oh, okay. And that's what I
Yep.
always say. It's a past and present tense between know and knew. You knew me,
Mhm.
but you don't know me. Because as I'm elevating, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. That's my favorite Rick Ross quote. But
Mm.
I think it's one of those things where we have to have these conversations, man, and normalize it because again, entrepreneurship is hard, balancing life is hard. So that's going to lead me to my next. How do you take care of you? Like, how do you take care of you? Like, if you're a business person, you got all this, you're trying to balance your relationships, your friendships. How do you make time for you?
Now, for me, I take care of me. I look out for me. I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm not gonna do the things that I may have done to myself in the past. Like my mom, she'll tell you, I used to work like 3 jobs while I was in nursing school, work at 3 different hospitals while trying to run my own home care business. I used to own a business called Clark's Home Care out of Birmingham, and I used to do all this stuff, and it run you ragged. You know what I'm saying? And so now for me, how I take care of me, I literally say no to some stuff. Like whether I'm talking to myself or a client, um, or a business meeting that's is not going to be in a good time slot for what I have going on. You learn to say no. Like I said, what's for me, it's gonna be for me. Like I'm not a person who hassles people. If I hear them say they want to buy a house, all that kind of stuff, I don't start stalking them on their pages, stuff like that. Most of my business have come to me. I'm
Right.
not in competition with the next loan officer. I'm not trying to kiss the next realtors behind. Like I don't do that. And most of my business comes to me. And with that, I'm able to say no to things that it's appropriate for me to say no to. I take care of myself. I go on vacations 2, 3, 4 times a year. Um, I eat well. I buy good food. I juice, I buy fresh fruit and vegetables. And that's basically where self care starts, is within. It's
Yeah.
not just about, going to get my hair done, all this stuff, it's literally taking care of your body. So eating right. I drink plenty of water. I set a time schedule for like when I'm going to entertain clients that are not actively in the thick of a home buying process. Now, my people who getting ready to close, they know they can call me 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting up. What's up? But like new clients who are just like wanting consultations, things like that. I limit my hours, and I'm so okay with that. If that's not the type of person you need, then I'm cool with that. But I know I'm a good person. I know I work hard, and I know that if you allow me to whatever side of my business that that you're trying to tug at me at, if you allow me to move forward with you and all of that, you're gonna get to the finish line and it's gonna be right and all of that. But I put me first, and that's just where I'm at now. But everybody in their steps as an entrepreneur, you may not be there yet,
Right.
but you may not, that may not be where you are. You may have to do those crazy shifts and crazy um hours and stuff like that, but you should never neglect your health as far as eating right and drinking right, period, point blank. And you should try to get some adequate sleep, because you're not going to be good to nobody if you're not being good to yourself.
Man, like I said, I think everything you said touched at home, and I think that was another reason why I decided to, why our household decided to change our diets. It was because here I am, I'm pouring out my heart to everybody on stage, and I'm traveling. I literally from last year, from February to the end of the year, I was on the road going somewhere, and I had to sit back and ask myself, all right, I know I'm living with cancer, but what else am I doing to help my body
Mhm.
fight and stay healthy? And so the whole month of December, I decided, I'm gonna do my research. Because when I started telling people, hey, I'm going vegan, you vegan? What? You gonna give up that 10-piece lemon pepper wing with the kiki poo? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they started trying to tell me, was I really gonna give it up? But what they didn't know was that I made it in my mind that I want better for myself. And if I don't do it now, later, sooner or later, I'm gonna crash, and I can't do nothing from a hospital bed.
Right.
Like it was times where I would forget to eat. Like I was so busy, like starting this, I was so busy trying to juggle so much. Where I'm pretty sure if you ask my wife, she'll tell you that boy talk about business in his sleep. Like I will wake up in the middle of the night and now I got to do something for the business, but I realized I can't do nothing if I'm not refilling myself. I cannot pour from an empty cup. It's almost like being on E and trying to go to the store. Like I can't go nowhere. I'm walking
Hmm.
now. I'm walking and now I'm exposing myself to other factors because I didn't take care of me. And so I made a promise to myself this year is no means no. If
Mm.
you don't got the right price tag and I know you
Mm.
won't do this for your community, but I'm sorry. No, I know my value now. And I think it's a tricky part when it comes to this because be honest, you need the money so you can be free, but then all money ain't good money.
Mm.
And so if I gotta spend do 100 events in 1 month just to get $1,000, then I'm wearing myself raggedy. Instead of getting back in the lab, get myself together, making sure I'm improving my techniques and my methodologies, then maybe I can turn that 1,000 for just one speech, or whatever the case may be, and keep it going. And so I think it just really just goes down to understanding who you are as a person and what makes you work, and knowing who your audience is. It's like on Facebook, I may have 2,000. On Instagram, I may have 1,500. But on TikTok, almost 20K. And so I put myself in positions to where I know I'm gonna be received. And I think so many people, what they don't do is that they get so caught up in trying to keep up with the Jeffersons that
Mm.
they're at the wrong place. Like you
Hmm.
in the wrong neighborhood. Like how you gonna sell Girl Scout cookies and everybody and their mama selling Girl Scout cookies on this block? You got to be able to create your own lane and create your own table. And I think that's what entrepreneurship is all about. I was just reading a quote when it was saying, imitation, hold on, let me pull it up because when I read it, I said,
It's
oh
the
yeah,
highest form of
yeah,
flattery.
flattery. But then the last part, there's a last part that had me, and it said, because mediocrity is the price of greatness. And when I heard that, I said, oh, hold on. See, because all we hear is the first part, but it's the second part that lets me know that there's going to be people that's going to try to copy you, but
Mhm.
they're not you. They can't do what you do.
Mhm.
So we got to stop thinking we competing with everybody else and realize we just competing with ourselves. Because at the end of the year, your bank statements ain't gonna lie. That tax return ain't gonna lie. So it's
Yep.
gonna let you know if you really put in the work like you said you did, right? And so I think that's why, again, man, I really wanted to have you on because I know for a fact, it's so many times I don't even know what you do. I'm like, all right, she doing this. All right, she doing this. All right, how does she do this? Like, what is going on? And so I'm like, literally, it was like a light bulb, and I'm like, yo, I gotta have her on because what I want to do is I want to continue to expose those that are willing to listen. Because I'm gonna tell you
Mhm.
what's gonna happen. I'm gonna say this boldly. You and I, we going to the top. No ifs, no ands, no buts.
Absolutely.
Whatever we decide to do, we're going to the top. And then there's gonna be people that's gonna say, oh, they think they better than us now. No, we tried to give y'all the sauce. We tried to stand out and give you some free game to help you expedite your journey. But at the end of the day, man, you can't feed everybody. You can't feed somebody that's not trying to eat.
That's
you
true.
know. And so that's why I'm like, that's why in doing this, I'm not doing this for the views. I'm not doing this for, oh, I'm about to get famous. Now I'm literally doing this to try to give those who want it an opportunity to kind of learn something without having to go through it. So then when they get to that opportunity, they know how to handle it.
You already got the recipe. Yeah.
Exactly.
To
And that's
bake that cake.
exactly why so many burnt cakes is because nobody's asking for the recipe. Nobody's asking for the recipe. I got a group of mentors I stay connected with. These mentors better than me. They've been in the game longer than I have, and I have no problem admitting that. But one thing I can tell you, anytime they drop a nugget, I'm taking notes. See,
Mhm.
because one thing I realize is that their chapters does not define my chapter. It just lets me know what I have to either to look forward to if I do it the right way, or not look forward to if I mess up. And I think that's one thing I truly believe in. That's why every Saturday morning, I'm up at 7 o'clock. I don't care if I've been drinking all night Friday. I'm up at 7 o'clock Saturday on this call, investing in myself because I get it.
Mm.
Entrepreneurship is hard. So why not learn from somebody that's been in the game for 20 years, that's successful, that can do what they want to do, you know? And being able to say, okay, cool, I can do that. And I know that's what you do. Like I know that's what you do. Like I know, like whenever we decide to, I don't know, I don't see myself in a real estate person. I can't do that. But I know I could come to you and be like, hey, can you teach me? And
Mhm.
knowing that you're going to teach me something that I can really apply to my life, man, and just really change my life. And the last comment I'm gonna say before I switch to the next segment is that many people want change, but they're not willing to do the research to find it, right? They're not willing to research things. They just expect change to happen overnight. And if you put soda on a plant, that soda, that plant ain't gonna grow. That plant gonna look at you like, hey man, I need some water. You
What
like
H2O?
it tastes good, but it ain't good for
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it feels good to say I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, it feels good to say I'm a business person, but if you're not doing stuff to help you grow as that business person, you just got a title.
Yep.
You got an LLC with no business, like with no business. You ain't got no money,
Mhm.
no nothing. Oh, but I'm a business person. I'm gonna give you a little pat on the back, and hey, I'm driving off in a little Ferrari. Beep beep. I'm gonna holler at you. But at the end
That
of the
part.
day, that's the mindset of mine. And I know you like your mindset is always, hey, I'm going to get my coins. What's that quote that you said about becoming a loan officer? You said something that I really loved.
Ah.
If I can find it. And when you said it, I was like, that's so clutch. Let me go ahead and pull out the handy dandy
I
notebook.
already know.
Yeah, because we got to share that gem because I really think, hold on. Okay, you said to earn a coin and make a difference.
Mhm.
I became a licensed mortgage loan officer. You know how cool that is? Like that should be your slogan. To
Earn a
earn
coin.
a coin and make a difference. Like Talk to me about that. Like, what made you create that tagline?
I'm going to tell you straight up. When I first enrolled, so to become a mortgage loan officer, before you're able to even sit for your licensing, for your board test that makes you in place to be able to request licensing, you have to go through 20 um, not CEs, 20 hours, right? So it's like kind of like in real estate, you have to sit through like so many hours and all of that. And on the very first day of classes, the guy, I'm trying to think of his name. He's pretty famous across mortgage people. His very first thing is, um, we become mortgage loan officers. Why do you become a mortgage loan officer? And so it's a pause, and everybody trying to think about this profound, politically correct things. And he said, to make money, to be compensated. That's number one. And so that stuck with me. It literally stuck with me because every other career field that I have been in, everybody always had to fake like this is my, I ain't gonna say fake, Lord, forgive me, but it's faking. I'm sorry. We're trying to make some money. You know what I'm saying? But you have to make like it's a passion of yours and all of that. I'm passionate about having a good life and making a difference. That's just that. But I have to make a coin. And I'm gonna be real about that. So yes, that is why that has become my slogan in this business because no mortgage real estate professional will ever look you in your face and tell you otherwise.
Man, you're 100% right. And to be honest, are you really a business if you're not making money?
That
I
part.
mean,
What's the
you
point?
could be a nonprofit. No, no offense to that. I know a lot of people that does that, but if you intend to be a for-profit business, if you're not making money, you're not really a business.
And nonprofits make money too. Don't
Yeah,
be
you know what I'm
petty.
saying? So I think the hard part about it is I think that when it comes to conversation about money, people are quick to say, "Oh, well, you're supposed to be doing it to help people. Oh, you're supposed I can help even
Not
more people if I got the money I need to do what I need to do."
that part.
I'm like, the math ain't math in here. So you want me to work 9 to 5, you want me to teach, you want me to do all this, but when I charge $200, $100 for a session, you saying, "Oh, I'm trying to rip the people off."
Hmm.
Clearly, I'm trying to do what I need to do so I can be free from certain situations so then I can be available to do everything I need to do. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day.
Sure
You know,
is.
I really appreciate you coming in. I want to be respectful for the time zone difference and everything. And so at this moment, I just want to just open the floor for you to just kind of talk your talk, your social media handles, whatever the case may be. Let the people know who you are. I will tell you, my biggest audience again is on TikTok. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop these videos up and we're going to put it
Hmm.
up there. And if they catch
Okay.
you and people gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, she was so cool," we're gonna bring you back and go ahead and run it back. We're gonna do that anyway, but we just gonna
We're
go
gonna
ahead
run
and
it back.
go ahead and do what we do. But on a serious note, I wanted to open up the floor and just allow you to, as a respect for you taking time out of your day, I want this to add some value too, so you can just kind of tell people who you are, again, what you do, ways to follow you, ways to get in contact with you, and just things like that. So talk to the people, and we're gonna wrap it up, and we're gonna go on about the day.
All right. Well, hello everyone. Thank you guys again for joining. Thank you, Rashad, for having me. So, like Rashad said, I'm like the person, like, after a while, you forget exactly what it is I do. What exactly does she do? I'm from Alabama. I'm from Mobile, but I've lived in Birmingham and now I live in Atlanta. And one thing that they say about people in Atlanta, you can never say exactly what that person do, but they always got a nice house and a nice car, and that's all you need to worry about, right? So, with that being said, I am a dope author. I love my novels. I still read all of my books to this day. And every time I think 2 years later, 3 years later, I'm going to be like, oh, I don't like it. I still like it. So if you're into short stories that are a little steamy, but have some, meat to them, some good topics, some good storylines, check me out on Amazon. My full name, Shiretta Leanne Clark. If you Google that, you can find everything that I do, literally everything. Um, I'm a UAB alumni. Go Blazers. And I also am now a licensed mortgage loan officer. I'm doing really well with that. I am very good about helping everyone in every unique situation make their way to that closing table. I'm also venturing off into some investor deals this year. So if you're an investor, if you want to be an investor, if you own a property already, like your first home, I can show you how you can get your next property without showing any income. So I specialize in first time home buyers. I specialize in, less than ideal credit score people. I have ways to get you where you need to be, but check me out. So the easiest way to find me is everything is my name, Shiretta Clark, loan officer, or Shiretta Leanne Clark. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, but for real, just Google Shy Readily and Clark and you'll find everything you need to know about me. So I look forward to linking with each and every one of you.
So before we close out, I know I read a couple of books. I ain't gonna lie, she read them books good. So I gotta go ahead and ask you. Thinking about making movies for the book? You
Oh, that's an exclusive right there. I've been kind of holding on. So we are in the works right now. It's one movie ahead of my movie. But yes, one of my books is going to become a movie, and I'm actually going to be involved. I'm going to be sitting in that chair, so it's going to be my movie. I'm going to have direction over all the people, they have to add stuff into the story. So all of those changes I'll be a part of, and I will be doing casting, looking for some folks to play some people. So read the book, see if that can fit into what you like to do as an actor or up and coming actor, and hit me up, and we can probably work together this year. So yes, absolutely, Rashad, that's your exclusive right there.
when y'all think about entrepreneurship, I want you to picture her picture right beside it. She just listed off so many different things that she's involved in. Don't limit yourself, man. If you're watching this right now, man, I want you to go back. If you just jumped on, I want you to go back and really listen to everything we said because we gave you some nuggets. She's literally a background in healthcare, loan officer, you know. And we didn't talk about how you could do health. Like we didn't talk about that, you know. And then like when COVID-19, you took advantage of the opportunity to launch your own COVID testing business. Like
Yeah, sure did.
I'm telling y'all, man, I didn't just bring her on just because it's my friend. I'm telling you, like literally, after I end this broadcast, I want you to go and watch this again. Take you a little notebook, and I promise you're gonna change your life, man. So, Sharetta, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I said,
Absolutely.
and that one last thing, she cooked too. Like I'm just
Oh
saying,
yeah.
like when I say entrepreneur, man. But listen, thank you for really embracing the conversation, man. And like I said, I'm not even worried about the numbers because as anything, as we always know, in order for something to grow, you got to first start.
Hmm.
And I can literally see this, and I told you this before we even got started. Like I can literally see a year from now, here we are. Somebody gonna be knocking on the door like, "Hey, look, your
Yeah.
show is fire. We need to get you on TV. Bring all your people. Let's go." Like that's what it
Yeah.
means to have a dream and pursue your dream. So if y'all don't hear nothing else we say today, entrepreneurship, what it truly is how bad you want to succeed. Simple. Whether that's whatever you desire to do, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, Eric Thomas says that, then you're gonna be successful. If not, you have a lot of burnt cakes, and then you gotta call a brother like me to kind of help you prevent you from burning that cake, right? And so again, Sharetta, we thank you. I want you to enjoy the rest of your day. And we're
Yeah.
gonna connect after. Like so I'm gonna go ahead and end this broadcast. Again, if y'all just joined in, go check out the live, watch it, learn something. Tell your mama and your sister next time because your daddy ain't show up. He must be getting some milk. But that's an inside joke. Y'all ain't catch that one. But but y'all have a good one, man. And again, Sharetta, thank you, and we'll be talking soon.
Absolutely. Bye.
All right, so